morning, good morning. This is Pierre Laguerre here with yet another powerful episode of the Daily Motivator. If you're ready to be challenged, inspired, and motivated, this is for you. Let's go. So yesterday we were talking about when you get stuck and you don't publish what you have. And this week I'm really dealing with you about your content. Whether it's a book you're writing or maybe a blog article or simply a podcast episode like I'm doing here, the fact is you must publish it. And sometimes it's not going to be perfect. So listen to yesterday's episode 540 and you'll hear a bit more about that. On Monday, I was at a business meeting at the church here in Puerto Rico, and we were talking about 6 important pillars of your business. And we were talking about the most important one. Which one of those pillars is the most important one? Because we know of the pillars, there is marketing, right? There is sales, there is product offering or services. Then you look at fulfillment/operations. And then finally, there are finances, money, right? So again, a lot of people get stuck on maybe the money part, especially when you are running a small business that's grossing less than $100,000 a year. Now, of course, one of the things that's been said is that if you're running a business and it's grossing less than $250,000 a year, you really have kind of like it's not a hobby, but it's a lifestyle business. You're making just enough to not just survive, but live and have a fair enough life where you alone could run that business. But if you want to scale, you're going to have to go higher. You're going to have to think about building teams behind your business. And you're going to have to think about expanding, right? Growth requires a new level of thinking, because what you did when you were alone is not going to work when you are now running with a team, especially if you have to learn to delegate to others and trust that they will carry things out the right way, so that whatever process you've delegated to them, those things can still work out and succeed. But there's freedom in delegation, because when you delegate things, remember, you're removing things from your desk and from your task list, but you're not freely going to delegate them at first without holding the person responsible to get them done in a timely fashion. So, point is, we talked about marketing. We talked about sales. We talked about your product offering or services. We talked about your operations of your business. And I'm not here to talk about growing your business, but this is part of it, right? Because if those things aren't doing well, if those pillars aren't strong, especially the finance pillar, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a business that's kind of like, suffering, right? Because it's going to be anemic in some parts, and that's not what you want for your business. So let's get to it. Point here is this. You're going to have to think about the 6th pillar, because so far I've only talked about 5 pillars of your business. The 6th pillar is the most important one, and that's your mindset. The reason mindset is important is because a lot of times without the proper mindset, you won't think big enough to build a business that's huge enough to grow with. If your mindset is not necessarily open, right? If you have a closed mindset, you're not going to think about the stretch, the reason why the business must grow, and you also growing in the process, because your business can't grow unless you grow. That's just the simplicity of it. Many people think, well, I can have $1 million business or $10 million business and I don't have to grow. No, you're going to be capped at some point. And the capping is going to happen because there are things you're not willing to open your eyes to see. There are things where you're thinking you're servicing everybody. You're not. And this is so important, because a lot of times I find business owners that want to serve everybody. Everybody's not your target audience. And that's why, when it comes to mindset, you need to understand some people will and some people won't. Regardless, you're still going to have to move forward and serve those that will become your clients and serve those that will become your raving fans. Not everybody's going to be your client. That's a given. And sometimes you're going to set systems apart to segment folks that are not your client, because obviously there are folks you may not necessarily be able to service at your current level of business, right? At your current level, the current phase you're at, it's possible that you cannot serve a company that's $100 million company. But a $10 million company, you probably have enough manpower to go ahead and serve that company. You'll probably have enough folks running with you in that business to serve that business. And of course, if you're the solopreneur, you're going to have to learn to scale by getting on Fiverr, Upwork, and find folks that you can actually work with as quickly as possible, because you're going to find, like I have, there's a ton of tasks in your business that some can be automated, and some, even though they can be automated, still need to be delegated. So again, let me remind you of the deal. Delegate, eliminate, automate, and leverage. Those four letters of those four words make up deal. Delegate, eliminate, automate, and leverage. Leverage what? Your time. Leverage your money. Leverage the people that are working with you. And if you don't do that, you are missing out. And certainly you're not going to grow as big as you would want to. So again, let me remind you here as I'm finishing today's podcast, you've got to think about your mindset. You've got to keep an open mind, and you've got to think big. Not everybody's going to want to hear what you want to do for your business, but you better have a plan, and you better have a big plan to expose that business to as many people as possible, so you can serve the greater part of the population that you are working with. You have to open your mindset. Mindset is the most important aspect of your business. Never forget it. This has been Pierre Laguerre with yet another powerful episode of the Daily Motivator. I'll catch you in the next episode.